And it's important to actually come up with, like you said, policies, so that we have structures in place that can take care of these things. It's very important that somebody does not have to call Esther Passaris and say, you know what, I need 24,000 shillings. There should be a system in place for this person to know that I have...
Social services.
Exactly.
Social
I have this,
services.
I go to the social services officer and I tell them this is the issue that I have, and the social services officer has a way of knowing this is how I can sort out this problem.
I mean, I totally agree, Eric, and I think that's one of the things I've been trying to push, especially in the campaign, because I've consciously taken a decision that, you know, I am not going to give any money while I'm on the campaign trail, right? Because that's part of the problem, because once you start giving, right, then once you get in, then you know that you can't be close to the people that you want to serve, because every time you will appear there, you'll be seen as, oh, you need money for this. And it's very worrying. Like when I was on the campaign trail and a lady, she started off at 100 bob, you know, like, just give me 100 shillings, I need this. And then she went down up to 10 shillings. And, and she said that, you know, even that 10 shillings alone, I can go to the shop and get some salt, right?
So
as you're saying, at the basic level.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, at the bigger level, we have to look at our relationships with the people in the low-income neighborhoods, for example. And I mean, I think one of the policies I'm looking at is in terms of how do you increase the business so that you increase incomes in these low-income neighborhoods? How do you get people to start looking, for example, at their house helps differently? Can you look at them also not only as a service provider, but as a goods provider, for example?
Exactly.
If she's coming with the tomatoes and you know, the goods from the low-income area, you're increasing the income there instead of, I mean, going to a multinational supermarket. Exactly. You know, and that increases the income as well. I mean, she's making a bit of money there. The mama mboga who's back in the low-income neighborhood is increasing the level. And also just looking at different ways that people can make money into a community fund that can now go towards funding these things that come up. So that, I mean, your leader has to be there. I want to be close to my people. I don't want to feel that I can't go there because every time I go there, then I'll have to go with money and I'll have to go handing out. I mean, and that's a challenge, and we have to keep fighting it. And I'm constantly trying to push that as I campaign.
There's a question here on Capital FM Kenya on Facebook. Ali Abdul Jr. says, I haven't had any candidate at any level talking about the street families where the ratio is, I guess, about 1 to 10 in Nairobi. They survive on selling scrap metals, and that's why we have too much looting and insecurity. How do you guys take that as your rep?
I was robbed on the Westlands roundabout, my handbag. All right. So basically, I feel that if we don't sort out the poverty in the informal settlements within our city, then they're going to come to our highways. I've been on Uhuru Highway and watched somebody get her side view mirror jacked off by 2 people at the same time, right in front of me at 7 o'clock at night. So crime, street families, are all related to poverty. What we need to do is create jobs, create enabling environments for investors to come in, and at the same time improve the quality of life in the informal settlements in Kenya. And I'll tell you one thing, Nairobi is surrounded with informal settlements. Uhuru Highway, Thika Road is not Nairobi. Nairobi is beyond that. And when you go and see how people live in Nairobi, and the biggest thing that I feel is worrying is the number of children. You know, every time I speak, I go to a banda in any of the markets like Githurai, right on top of the tomatoes and on top of the vegetables, there's a little baby. And then when it's 4 o'clock and you're on the campaign trail, there's like a river of kids, you know, one after the other, just walking. And I'm looking at all these children and I'm saying, their fathers, their elder brothers, their elder sisters, their parents don't have jobs. Hello, Kenya. To create jobs, we need to have an enabling environment. People who come in and come up with an investment idea should be embraced. And let's not just look for foreign investors. There are lots of Kenyans who want to invest, and they can invest. Let me tell you where we've got a lot of money to make. Housing. But the government has got to create a fund to subsidize the poor for housing. We're building houses for the elite and the middle class, upper middle class, but we need to create housing. Housing, and I don't mean these 1-bedroom houses that we came up with in Kibera, because that's not a family structure. Again, we're creating another big problem of incest. We need to create 2-bedroom houses for families so that kids can also be safe, you know. And because when I go into these houses, they put bed sheets around and they divide the house, kitchen.
You lose your dignity.
No, let's be real here. They also have to have intimate moments with their wives, all right? And how do they do that with 5 of their children in the same room? How do they do that and cook in the same room with a stove? If we're going to upgrade, let's genuinely upgrade. You know, let's not just give a little bit and then pretend that we're doing something. We've got a lot of work to do. We need a lot of money for all this work. But if we stop stealing and we tighten the belt, and we deal with corruption.
I have an idea.
Believe you me, we will do it well.
Just allow me to say, I mean, using New York as an example, we have Mayor Michael Bloomberg, who is serving New York not because he wants to get paid a salary, because he only gets paid $1 per year, so that's his income. So he has, I mean, after making a fortune, he said he's going to dedicate his entire life in making New York a good place. And he's been able to reduce the levels of crime. He's attracted a lot of investments, and maybe that's the kind of leadership we should be looking for in Nairobi. A leader who can go the extra mile and call investors. For instance, in Rwanda, Paul Kagame, when there's an issue in the country, like not having issue, I mean, they're having their foreign aid is being terminated because of the DRC matter. But he's called up on Tony Blair and Warren Buffett, and he told them, please assist me sort out this issue. So we need such kind of a leadership in Nairobi who know that if you get, say, General Electric coming to Nairobi to sort out our waste management issues, then you can get jobs. Somebody who can, I don't know that these two, they can call up investors and tell them, come, let's do housing, come, let's do, you know, commuter trains. You know, that kind of quality.
Let's get rid of all this red tape that we've created, all these list of many things that you have to do, all these licenses. We still haven't got there. But more important, let's break the cartels. Let me tell you something. We've got so much cartels. When Jaco Rossi came to Kenya, we did a complete signing to do the environment. They were sitting in the board in environment in the EU. They had the money. Italy had the money. The Jaco Rossi was being given the funding. But you know what? All the people that benefit from garbage collection at the city council did not want it. They blocked it. The same way they blocked Adopt a Light. So as long as we are not going to be focused, we should be able to sit in Parliament and say, excuse me, let's look at what this company is going to do for Kenya. Let's break the cartels. We have to break the cartels.
But then, Esther, how are you going to break these cartels? I'm sure these cartels are in these campaigns as we speak.
Exactly, exactly. But the thing is, if we vote in good leaders, for one, I don't want to deal with cartels. Look, as I said, I don't want Nairobi City Council, the new county government, to just take over from City Council and we move forward. It's a complete, let's look at it as a completely new entity. City Council has not had audited accounts for years. All right? How can government sit back and watch an entity like the local government not provide its accounts? They owe people money left, right and center. They have got such impunity. We're going to have a clean slate, but we also have to sort out the backlog. But let's do it parallel. While we sort out the backlog, I think 10% of the income from the county government will have to go to clean up City Council's past. Because you can't walk away from debts. You can't walk away from people who provided you services. But I'll tell you what, the cartels for environment, forget it. I saw just a few years, 2 years ago, they launched these trucks for washing Nairobi because we're coming up with these super highways. I was on Thika Road. All the drains are full of garbage. All the drains are full of garbage. The road is so dirty.
Actually, where are those trucks?
No idea. No idea. They were commissioned. The money was paid. But where are these trucks? I think they were bought secondhand. They probably can't function. We haven't trained the workers on the hydraulics. And now, basically, we're stuck. So, you know what? We have to. We really have to be sincere about leading Kenyans. And I really want Kenyans to be absolutely sure about the leaders they're electing right now. Please, look at your leaders. And make sure that we get a good team together. Because, you know, I'm saying, I'm in Peter Kenna's party. I hope my presidential candidate would win because it'll be easier for me. But in case he doesn't, right, I need to know that whoever's going to be president is going to unite Kenyan leaders coming from across all parties and basically give us a vision. And we have Vision 2030. We don't need any more manifestos. Vision 2030, but let's look at how can we address poverty. We need to address poverty.
But I mean, just to add on to that, I guess with a clean slate, we also have to look at sort of transparency and accountability. And we have to start these things from the inception of the government. And that's why it's important as the first county government that you get the right people in who will put systems in place that even regardless of the next election, I mean, we will already have strong structures. I know for a fact, for example, that even computerization of the billing at City Hall is something that's been fought, right?
Nobody wants that.
Of course. And the first thing that basically even the county government, for example, can do is put restrictions on the county executive committee. Let's say, for example, if you restrict them from raising any of the taxes, for example, on I mean the land rates, for example, until they reach a certain level of income generation that they already have from what they're collecting now, because then they'll have to put in place systems that will fight corruption.
Killer Boy says, Passaris, to make it in politics of Nairobi, you need to touch the people in Huruma, in Mathare, and Kayole. Concentrate your campaigns there.
You know what? I've got 17 constituencies. I was cleared on the 1st of February. I have tried to reach as many people as possible. And you know what? If he believes in me, leadership is not about the leader coming and connecting directly with the individual. You know, I keep telling everybody that I've met, if I've talked to you and I've touched you, if you believe in my leadership, talk to 10 other people.
Tell other people.
You know, because if I've talked to 100,000 people, which I believe I have, then if they talk to 10 people, I will win this with 1 million votes. And I want to win with a clear mandate. You know, but the Kenyan people cannot sit back and expect me to do all the campaigning. This country is not about me. It's about all of us. We all have to come together. You know, I was looking at Barack Obama's campaign trail. Everybody that volunteers to work for Barack Obama is not getting paid. Here in Kenya, somebody joins your campaign trail. By the time they disembark from the truck, they want to be paid, and then they tell you we're gonna go on a demonstration to say you never paid us. I told them, why did you get on the truck if you didn't believe in me? You got on the truck because you want to get paid. But I'll tell you one thing. Again, I see it. This is poverty. This is the time for them to make money. Yeah. This is the season to make some quick buck. You know, it's politics.
There's
Everybody
hundreds
wants to make
of
money.
millions of shillings
exactly.
in this campaign, Esther. I mean,
you know,
how do you expect people not to, you know, position themselves to make
exactly.
this money?
I mean, look, I'm really happy that it's filtered down to the bottom, and a lot of people have made some money either from distributing posters or flyers, or you know, working as security, etc. But the thing is, we can't employ everyone. You know, and we can't have everyone being hired to do X, Y, and Z. So I always say the word of mouth is the best. And I tell people, you've got your legs. You know, they tell me, give us transport. I say, I don't want you to use a car. I don't want you to use any matatu. Just please walk. Talk to your jirani. Talk to your neighbor. You know, talk to the guy in the shop that you're going to buy something to. You have to help me get into the leadership if you believe that I can help you.
I need to understand why Mwangangi Steve is asking Passaris and Wanguhu, who do you support to be the next president? Steve, we are talking about the county government. I think it's important that first of all we internalize the importance of a county government. Then we can talk about the president later.
I think it's something that I found constantly on the campaign trail, that it's seen as soon as I tell them I'm running for county rep, they say, oh, this is not a contentious one, we'll give that to you. But who are you choosing for president?
Who's your president?
Yeah, Kenyans, you know what I tell Kenyans? Everybody, you know, I mean, I've got a lot of support. You know, I was in ODM for a while, and I was embraced by ODM. And ODM, basically, I believe I'm going to get quite a lot of votes from there. I also believe that I'm going to get a lot of votes from the TNS side, people who believe in my leadership. I want to cut across, but I want to tell Kenyans that everybody votes for a presidential candidate because of a reason. And unfortunately, the reasons that we've been voting before, and I hope this prayer meeting touched us today, has got nothing to do with whether that person is the best person for the job, in your opinion, at that particular time. It is because he's your tribe. It is because you've got something to settle on the ground. You know, we think the problem is at the top. I'm telling you, even at the ground, there's one tribe saying your tribe will never rule. There's another tribe saying, wait, we'll show you. You know, so you know there's this competition. You know, so politics is about competition. But if we can have the guiding factor being good leadership rather than tribe, we'll get a long way. And I keep saying everywhere I go, I hope that Central will give Raila a good chunk of votes, or Musalia some votes. And I hope that Western and Nyanza will give Uhuru some votes, because that will show that we have matured, and now it's not about tribe. But if 99% goes one direction, then I'll tell you one thing, it's a reflection of the community, it's a reflection of the leadership, and I'll tell you, that will divide us, that will bring a lot of pain and suffering to the Kenyan people. So let's vote across the board. Let's vote somebody because we believe he's deserving.